down towards the basket. Misses
Greetings, Red Wolf Nation, and welcome to a new episode of Inside IU East Sports. I'm Kyle Wright with the IU East Athletic Department, keeping the host seat warm for Caleb Gillock, who's out with the basketball teams at the national tournament this week. We're going to talk a whole bunch of track and field this week, and we're going to learn all about high jumping to start this week's show. With me, two of our three outstanding women's high jumpers here at IU East, Tricia Spivey and Autumn Cann. Ladies, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us here.
Okay. Well, we were talking before we went on the air. You all have accomplished so much in such a short amount of time. You all deserve some sort of nickname, and you said that one has developed. If you could kind of tell us the nickname for your group and how that name came about.
They called us the High Jump Trio. I think Dave ended up messaging one of the IU East people, and that's what he called us, and it stuck, and we all liked it, and so he just refers to us at it.
And the trio is you two and Mackenzie Bowles as well, who was unable to join us, but we'll have you speak for her on a few of her accomplishments as well. But let's go way back in your earliest days of track and field, just how you got involved in the high jump to begin with. And while you get your story straight, I hope your story's happier than mine. When I was very young, my dad coached high school golf, and during the rainy part of the season, the track and golf teams would both practice indoors, and the high jump mats would be out. And being a little kid, I loved jumping and running on them, and the track coach loved yelling at me and telling me to get away from them. So
Yep.
I hope that story's a little happier than mine. But Tricia, we'll start with you. How did you first get involved in the high jump?
I actually wasn't a high jumper. Starting out in 6th grade, I did hurdles and I did long jump, and then one day we just kind of had open practices for high jump, and they were just putting the bars in random places, and I ended up clearing about 4.8, just my first go around. They were like, oh, okay, well maybe she's a high jumper. So that's basically where I started, and I just haven't stopped.
And Autumn, for you?
My first time jumping was in 6th grade. I was actually awful. Like, I didn't even want to do it ever again. I picked it back up when I started my freshman year, and I don't know, out of the blue, I just jumped a really good height, so I stuck with it, and I got better, and that's how I started.
And at the younger ages of track and field, they usually have you do every event. At what point did you realize, hey, high jump is my thing, this is the thing I can stick with, this is something later on maybe I can do at the college level? When did that moment hit for each of you, starting with you, Trish?
I don't know if I had a distinct moment. I just remember being at a meet, and they just kept raising the bar, and it was kind of one of those really good feelings, like, okay, well maybe this is something that I can keep doing, and just basically it.
And you said you started terrible, but obviously you got pretty good. When did that transition hit for you?
7th grade. That's when I started being good, and my sisters each had long distance that they were really good at in high school, and high jump was just my thing. So I liked that I was good at it, and I kept going with it, stuck with it.
And it's obviously worked out great for all of us here. Well, what makes a good high jumper? You can either speak for yourself or about high jumpers in general. People watching the show might be thinking, duh, Kyle, you jump high. But there's obviously more to it than that, especially in the high jump. So I'll go down the line again. Tricia, you can lead off. Just what makes a high jumper besides the ability to jump high?
Well, obviously just putting in a lot of work, going to the weight room every day, and just making sure that you're doing the best you can do, paying attention to form. In high school, my old coach was all about form. He would critique me on every single thing, making sure that I was doing exactly what I needed to do, whether it was my penultimate step, the step before, or, just where my arm was during it. So just making sure that I knew exactly what I needed to do form-wise, and just, having a good personality about it, making sure that I didn't quit whenever something was bad, basically.
And Autumn, besides jumping high, what else goes into making a good high jumper?
I always make the joke that if you have long legs, you're bound to be a great high jumper, but Tricia defeats the odds over here, so I can't
very short legs.
Weight room, yeah, definitely weights, legs. You gotta have strong legs. You're not gonna get that strength to get high if you don't have leg strength. You're not gonna get anywhere. You've got to be in the weight room, 100% weight room.
And Mackenzie's not here. I'll let you two speak for her. What makes her a good high jumper? There's probably several of those qualities, but any of those in particular that helps her excel?
She's an athlete. She's just a natural
athletic
athlete
all around.
Yeah, she's got the legs. she basically knows what she needs to do, and she can do about anything just because she's really athletic.
And you both have a long list of accomplishments in the high jump, both before college and during college. Let's start pre-college. Tricia, what do you consider your greatest accomplishment in the high jump before you came to IU East?
I did make it to state my senior year, but I think my greatest accomplishment was sectionals senior year. I actually jumped 5.5, which is my PR all time, and it was just, I mean, the best moment of my high school career. So.
And Autumn, for you?
My sophomore year, it was my freshman year, and my junior year making it to regionals. So I just liked being able to go there, and my team came and supported me, so it was nice.
And then we'll, on the other side of the coin, what you consider your biggest high jump accomplishment during your college career here at IU East?
I made it, well, I qualified for nationals last year. I wasn't able to go, but I did qualify for it, so I think that is my biggest accomplishment.
Since we didn't have indoor nationals, so that was technically team.
Yeah.
And for you, Autumn, what you consider your best high jump accomplishment during your college career?
Probably not Anderson, but the 2 meets before that, I just jumping really good. I'm getting better with not being in my head so much and just jumping no matter the surface we're on and everything. So.
And that's from this past indoor season? Gotcha. Okay. What's the highest each of you have jumped? You mentioned the 5.5. I was just curious if any of you have had a better one in practice even, or if the ones you've gotten in the meets are the best ones you've gotten ever.
5.5 is still stands as my PR.
Yeah. 5.1 and 3/4.
And was that in
Jumped
a
that.
meet or was that in a practice?
Yep, I just jumped that, so.
Okay. I was just curious if there'd been a 6-foot jump in a practice sometime that we
I
would show
wish.
some footage for. But cool. Mackenzie's best jump, if do you recall, has she had a huge one in practice, or her best one's also in the meets?
I don't know what her best jump is.
5.2 maybe, I believe. Is that not?
I don't know because I don't think.
In practice, I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. what
But
her
in the
best
meets, it was around the 5.2.
But it's around
range.
that range, yeah.
Yeah. Because she's around what I am, but I don't know what her best is because she jumped it at Anderson. If she jumped it was last year at Anderson.
Well, that's the meet I'm thinking
that
of.
would have been her
Anderson.
best jump. So
And I believe it
whatever
was 5.1,
her meet
5.2.
was,
In
yeah,
the
Anderson.
same range.
Yeah.
Something around
So,
there.
either way, higher than I can get. So, okay. Fortunately, I've had the chance to take photos at some of your meets, and you three are always competing at the same time, always talking between jumps. What are those conversations like between jumps? I'm curious if there's all about form and technique or more relaxing topics, but what are some of those conversations like when the competitions are going on?
I think it kind of depends on how we're jumping. So if we just cleared the height, it's basically good job, and then maybe just a pointer for the next person who's about to jump. And then if it's, you didn't do so well, then it's, hey, you need to work on this, but still trying to keep the conversation light and happy.
Yeah, definitely just pumping each other up. What do we need to improve on? What can we do for the next jump? Do we need to take a step back? Do we need to take a step forward? Do I need more speed? Just critiquing each other, just helping each other.
And is there, and the answer to this might be no, but I'm curious, is there a moment that stands out where one of you did say something to each other that led to being able to clear the bar on the next attempt or fairly soon?
I'd say multiple times.
I'd say about every time. I mean, sometimes you just kind of get in your head, like Autumn said, she's getting really, really good at, getting out of her head. But sometimes you just do that and you just need your teammates to be like, hey, get out of your head. You're doing fine. This is all you need to do. If you do this, you'll be fine. And then you clear it and you're like, oh, duh. Like, why didn't I do that along the way? Yeah, and then you get to breathe and relax. So
it's really frustrating when you get to low heights and you can't clear it. You clear it on the third one, and then the next jump it's higher, and you clear it on the first one, and you're like, what the heck? Why am I? Like, it's just frustrating. It's a head game for sure.
So definitely good to have teammates around.
Oh yeah,
for
most
this.
definitely.
Every jump happens so fast, it's over in probably from the run up to landing on the mat, maybe 3 or 4 seconds. But in those 3 or 4 seconds, just what does go through the mind? Are you worried about form or thinking about form or thinking about other things? I've heard both ways work. For each of you, what's from the moment you start your run up to when you hit the mat, just kind of your thought process on each jump?
My thought process is probably, oh my gosh, don't screw up. and then, I'm just thinking about everything I need to work on. Like for me, majorly, it's, how close I am to the mat. I need to make sure that I'm getting my step placement correct. And so I'm thinking about my 5th step going in, and then I'm thinking about my 9th step, and then my penultimate step. And so just kind of making sure that all those things are in order for me to make a good, complete jump. It's basically what I'm thinking about in that short span of time.
And you said you need to get out of your head, but when things are going right, what is in your head when you're going through the jumps?
Just focusing on my speed, making sure when I'm at that curve of my J that I'm not stepping out, because I do that a lot. So just, yeah, speed and my plant.
You're both in your sophomore year. If you could talk about, think back a couple years back, you were probably making your college decisions at about this time. What led you to choose IU East, or to realize that IU East was the right fit for you? Tricia, you can go first. I know you're close to home, but how did you go about choosing IU East?
Well, yeah, I did really want to stay close to home. I wanted to save some money, and I knew that I wanted to be a nursing student. And I knew that I could do it here with an IU degree and IU diploma, and that just, that just basically sold it for me. So I was pretty excited about that.
And you're from a little farther away. You did have the family connection already
3
a
hours
little bit,
north.
but talk about your recruiting process or college choice process.
They recruited my sister, Allie Can, for cross country and track. And so I knew a little bit about IU East from that. And I came down and visited her and really liked it, really liked the team, really liked the cross country team is what I got close with, because that's what she was in a lot when I was down here. And then Brett started talking to me, he came and watched me jump, and I really liked Brett. He was really nice, and I just thought he'd be a really good coach, and he has been thus far. And now Dave. So
Working out well for everyone. You mentioned nursing already. I'll ask each of you, talk a little bit about your major, how it's going. You're basically both almost halfway through your college careers. Just talk about your studies and what you're hoping to do once you're finished with your degree here.
Well, I just started clinicals, which is really fun. I get to go to the ER, and I'm obviously nervous every time, but it's really fun to get in there and to see what I actually will be doing in my future. And I'm really blessed to have that opportunity that IU East has given me. I'm not quite sure, I'm going to be an RN, but a registered nurse, but I'm not quite sure what division I want to go to, whether it's peds or ICU or that yet. But once I start doing more clinicals, I think I'll get more into that decision process.
yeah.
And Autumn, for you, your major so far and career plans.
My major's criminal justice with a minor in psychology. I want to start out as a police officer, but I don't want to stay a police officer. So I don't know what I'm going to be branched out to, but I know I want to start out off as a police officer. I don't know if it's going to be the counseling side of it or the not so counseling side, on the street side of it, or probation, but I'll figure that out.
And time's on your side, I assure you, so plenty of time on that. We've got a couple minutes left. I was hoping to ask each of you what you consider your favorite memory of being here at IU East. It can be a track and field thing, it could be a classroom thing, it could be at the apartments thing. Just each of you, just what you consider to be your favorite memory from your time at IU East.
Oh gosh, there's so many. Okay. Let's see, I think I had mine maybe a few weeks ago. I was doing my ER clinicals, and I just kind of had a moment where it was like, man, this is exactly what I want to do, and everything just kind of seemed to come together. And it was like, this is where I want to be track-wise, this is where I want to be nursing-wise, and just realizing that I'm actually starting off, my career and everything is going pretty well. It was just kind of like a nice revelation moment where it's like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, basically.
And top that.
Better than mine's going to be, exactly. I would say going to Bob Evans after Rio Grande. Yeah. Eating with the team, being together all at once.
Getting free food.
Yeah,
So that'd be the conference meet.
With the seniors that we had last year. I miss them a lot.
And I assume they told you that's the first Bob Evans ever that Bob Evans
Yeah.
was on. So you can
That's
say
why
that
it
you
was
had a
cool.
meal
Yeah.
in the first Bob Evans ever as well. So.
Yep.
Great. Well, thank you so much to both of you for joining me, and best of luck. Congratulations on the indoor season finish, and we'll hope for great things in the outdoor season yet to come.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And we'll be right back with more track and field topics right here on Inside IU East Sports.